Hi Zoe, hi YouTube friends. Right, I've popped on because over the weekend I watched Dingley Definication, Ali that is, and she was doing a magazine image storage type video, and I have had a lot of comments over the months that I've been doing this that people always say, "Oh, how do you find like the right images for your journal?" And you always seem to have the right image that goes with what's going on with your life. Well, it's due to organisation and storage. So I thought I'd come on and show you how it was done. Oh, Ali, you're learning my secrets. and Right, so if you're new to the channel, this is my journal. I do a weekly journal update and pop it on YouTube every week, and just sort of to show you the inside if you've never seen it before. If you haven't, go find the videos and see what's going on in my life. But as you flip through, you see I have images throughout the whole book here, and basically they coincide with what's happening in my life. So if I go shopping, there's shopping ones. If I eat a big sandwich, there's a big sandwich. You know, whatever is going on, what I have for dinner, the whole works. So how I organise this is, excuse me, I'm a bit bumbly here. Right. Okay, so start with my tin. So this is my everyday tin, and in here, this is lush, isn't it? This was the charity shop, £1. Good old charity shop. In here I have a basket and a book and 3 little pockets. Let's stand those up a sec. Okay, so we'll cut to the book first of all. This is just an old out-of-date diary. I used to have like a little diary that went on the fridge, but this is how I keep track of what's going on in the week. So every day, at the end of the day, probably when I'm making tea, I just jot down some things that happened on that day. So if we cut to last week. Okay, so Monday, the dates are wrong, so ignore the dates because it's old calendar, obviously. So Monday, I cleaned, I did my journal, it rained, we had pizza for dinner, I watched Awkward, my friend Romaine came over with a big bottle of martini for me for a belated birthday present, and we brushed the dog's teeth for the first time. So I know that I just want to find images for this. And there's a couple of ways I can go about this. Firstly, I have, for very simple images, firstly I have a basket here of just bits and bobs that, you know, I might think is coming up. So when I cut up magazines, I think, oh yeah, no, that might be coming up. So like, for argument's sake, Valentine's is coming up, and that made me laugh, and so that's a good image, so that goes in the box. Now these are not organised because I will probably just use these anyway. We're trying to do a bit more healthy cooking, so there's our own exercise clothes doing healthy cooking, so I just throw them in here, and these are just things that are used. Then I also have dinner and breakfast and other foods that I know that I'm going to use. So it's pancake day soon, so there are pancakes in here. So, and dinners that we would have, we're bound to have some sort of pasta dish at some point, so pasta. So when I go through, I look for those too. Then I have a journal prep bag and a this week bag. Journal prep is, I think ahead all the time. So next week I know that we are having ham and leek pie. So I have already found a ham and leek pie picture, and that's in the journal prep. Now this week is when I do the notes in the little book. Sometimes to get a head start on it, I will go find you can see these are ticked. I go through and find a picture for them, so a cleaning one, a journal one, a rain one, a pizza one, so on forth, and I pop them in there this week Polly Pocket, ready to go. So that's the organisation on that. Hope that made sense. Now you're thinking, how are you going to clean the dog's teeth picture, because that's just not in my basic tin. That I have I mean, that's random, but but I also have a big filing box. Now, this might be a bit hard to show. Excuse me, that's the chair. Right. This is my big pick you up kitchen box. It's just a kitchen recipe box, which I have turned into a filing system, and I have shown this before. Let's see if I can prop you up so you can see. Bear with me with the wobbling while I just get the tin to rest the box on, which is the tripod's on. Oh look, that works quite well. So right, you can see in the box now. Okay, and in here it is colour coordinated, apart from this one that says favourites, and that just has sort of like pictures Zoe sent me and photographs and things that I might use. So in the first section I have Rachel and Friends, Garden and House, and Art, Coffee and Tea. Now this isn't just for my journal. If I need something in collage, or I need something, I don't know, I need a picture of some sort, then I have got it here ready to go if it's for some other project. But just say with like Friends, I've got Forever Friends, and I've got this little lady with a coffee cup, like I might go for coffee with a friend, and I've got like shopping, because I go shopping with my friends, you know, that sort of thing. Also mentioned Rachel, because Rachel is my best friend, so often when I see things that I would do with Rachel or remind me of Rachel, then it goes in the box. The next section I have cartoons, people and pop art. Now pop art I don't use in my journal, but I do like pop art, so it is in there in case I wanted to use it in some sort of project. So, and then people, I have just general people that I find interesting. This is just little people or stars. I do actually have a big file for people too. When I was watching Ali, she's got like beautiful people and then normal people. I think we all do that bit. And then cartoons, these are quite good, so animated type pictures. So anything from pretty girls to I think I've got M&Ms in here as well. Yeah, like M&Ms. So just sort of like cartoony ones. And sometimes I use them in my journal, especially if sometimes they might have a grumpy face or a funny face or something. They might coordinate, so I can look in there for extra things. Then I have spring, summer, Halloween and autumn are together. Christmas and winter together. I have celebrations like birthdays, weddings, anniversaries, that sort of thing, because it's always someone's birthday or something that I might need for my journal. Months and weather, so I just have like the written month like January, and then weather like rainy pictures or sunny pictures or so on and so forth, because I might mention the weather. Then I have family. I have love, anniversary and Valentine's all in that one, in case I'd want to do a project on Valentine's, just say. Then I have activities, and that's stuff like things that I might do. I mean, might go to a fun fair one day, and the balloon festival. So those sort of things. I have holidays and beach. That could be places I might go on holiday, and generally pick up pictures of Spain because that's where I end up going the most, but there is other destinations in there, and the beach. And then travel, that's like planes, trains and automobiles basically. Next I have food and drink. This is sort of spare food and drink, because I have obviously that section for dinners, but then when I was doing my Heidi's Happy Hideaway, well, I'm still doing that. I have a food section, and there might be pretty food that I want in there, like these lovely cakey things here. So not just, but I wouldn't make that for dinner per se, so that's why there's a different dinner section for my journal. And then I have animals, flowers, birds and butterflies, because sometimes you just want those sort of things. And also they're quite handy for when I'm doing my ATCs, as like my little ATC cards, so they're kind of handy, birds and butterflies and things. So that's my big storage one that I can always go check on. But you're probably thinking, but what about this dog with teeth? Then I have 2 more filing systems. I have, oh, right, let's take you off the tin a sec. Try not to wobble you. And I've got, okay, now this is for slightly bigger ones. I am fussy with what I keep now because I don't have a lot of space, so I can't have files and files and files of things. So this is just one file of extra things, and they have to stand out to me and be something that's I like the look of. So I have animals that the dog could teeth would fall in. I have arty type pictures. And then I have different types of backgrounds, because backgrounds are always very handy. So I have 3 sections of backgrounds. Ones are, these are more like magazine cover backgrounds, and then I have places, and then I have like foods and things. I've got boats and trains that are too big for the big file, and then same again with the birds, butterflies, cartoons, Christmas, clothes, bags and shoes, collage interest, that is all sorts of stuff that would be good for my like collage cards or my collage book. Then I have colours, these are the paint chips that you can get. Cowboys and Indians, Day of the Dead, flowers, frames, so you see these in there, funny, hearts, interesting, paper doll bits, and then I have people, so I have just heads and then full-bodied people there. So I've got quite a lot of people there, so this would be mainly for my collage journal. Oh, you never know, sometimes I'll plough through if I need anything particularly for my journal. Now patterns, sea themed, so like surfers and that sort of thing. Steampunk, which has nothing in at the moment. I think I sent it all to Zoe. Vintage and very English. Of course, we've got the Queen there and tea. Watches, and then I've just got some few bits and bobs that I want to keep. So I just keep one file for that. Oh, let's put that back in. And then lastly, this is just one big lever arch file I've got here. And then I just have a smaller file where I keep all my Victoria Thatcher printouts and things to use in my journal for like writing the little notes. So in here I have, this is Victoria Thatcher pictures that I could have a look through that I haven't used yet, type thing. Then I've got stickers that are like label stickers that I could use to make notes in my journal, and then these are the tags. Then I have other things that I could use to write on. So like this is cut out of, it was an old calendar, had notes bit, and then these little note papers, and then these type of things that you can write on. And then these are out of a recipe book, but just a note, sometimes I use those in it. And then Zoe sent me these ones here. and Karen sent me this notebook here, so I use those. And I also have like this type thing where I have like days of the week, so I can cut those out as well and use them for notes in my journal. So that is handy. Then I just have some of the, this is Victoria Thatcher, like you know, Valentine's Day and things like that, and birthday slots. Then also Victoria Thatcher, you may have seen these every week. I've got the Monday to, you know, the weekdays, so that I can cut them out and just put like the date in, which has become very, very handy, because you remember I always got to Monday and be like, I don't know what the date is, I have to look at the calendar. So I have solved that problem now. Oh, I hope you're not a bit washed out. Yeah, it's a little bit washed out because I wouldn't say the sun is shining, but it's grey out there, but you know, it's a bit bright. Then I have the TV Victoria Thatcher ones, the dinner ones, the weather ones, birthday ones, and then I just have lots and lots of the printables that I could use for certain themes that I might do in my journal. So that is that one. And then in worst case scenario, I still haven't found a picture. I'll take you on a little magical tour. So I'm just going to pick you up. I'm going to cover you over so you don't feel sick, because I know Nikki, you don't like going on a hunt because that makes you feel sick. So right, we are now entering what my husband calls my craft room, aka the cupboard. And worst case scenario, I cannot find a picture anywhere. I do have, as you can see, magazines. This is the Tesco's magazines, Sainsbury's magazines. I have some recipe book magazines here. These are all the, I don't tend to cut these up though, because this is Daphne's diary, thanks to Sally and to Zoe. I've got 4 flow books, thanks to my mother-in-law, and I do have some of the calm ones, like the calm and the happies and the mindfuls and breathe and thing, and they don't tend to get cut up. They will one day, but I have to bring myself round to cut them. But definitely the Tesco's and the Sainsbury's and that. So that's the food section. Then down here I have a little pile of home ones, a little section of the country life and the what's that one called, landscape. Oh, they're beautiful ones. And I have one file down here of, these are all crafty ones, so hopefully anything I was trying to find would come into that category, we hope. Also, lastly, I have all the magazines that you have sent me, Zoe. They are all here. Oh, I need to cut them up, but they're a bit precious. So I have those there with the bag that you sent me. And then I just have 2 Harper's Bazaar and 2 Vogues, because that is all you need in life. Ali is completely correct. You do not need a lot of fashion magazines, because you could literally buy 1 Vogue and that will give you enough people for collage to last you a lifetime. So I have, because I had them, 2 Vogues, 2 Harper's Bazaar. That is it. And I still have tons and tons of women that I could, you know, and children and stuff that I could cut up. Well, that sounds dodgy, doesn't it? Right, I'm just going to back out the cupboard and take you... Oh, goodness, I'm going to fall over. Oh dear. So there's the cupboard. Right, back over with the hand when we go back to the desk. And then I think lastly I have, let's stick you back on the box, just one box of words. And that's all you need. You do not need tons of words. So I've just got, I'll show you. Oh no, not lastly, I've got one more thing as well. So I just have like little words in there, like make today amazing, beat the bloat, and then just slightly bigger ones in here, bad hair day, that sort of thing. That I might just have a go through for my journal, but I don't keep loads and loads of words because they're a pain, really. And I could organise them in a file, but it's just annoying. So I just have one box of them. So that does me fine. And then now, lastly, I also have this little tub. And this little tub is the most precious pictures that I want to either do in my Heidi's Happy Hideaway, or I keep them for doing precious things. And I have them in sections as well. I have art, cartoons, places, quotes, foods, animal and people and plants. And then I just have patterny ones at the back. I also use this to do my daydream boards because I used one of each, but they just have the most like splendid pictures. I mean, that's stunning, isn't it? That I just go through and show you a couple. For example, just things that really are just beautiful type things that I just have to keep and do something with, but they're all here and they're all in that one. And then I lied to you again, there's one more thing I'll show you as well. I just have in my stand-up, let's hope you don't fall over, so in that little stand-up bit there, look, everything's falling over because I've just moved it all, I just have two, is it two? Yes, two, oh no, three, lies, two of these plastic wallet ones, and they just have pretty background pictures that I use to cover up the writing in my journal. So and when I start my next journal, because I use a cookbook to make my journal, so I cover up the writing. So I keep pretty pictures that would make nice backgrounds, and I have been commented before on that before, like how do you pick the backgrounds? Well, I have these very nice just pictures that I just put in here, so like that, and they're not so important that you can't like stick something over or write over them or do whatever, but they're just pretty, so they cover up the writing and just make nice backgrounds. So I just have a file of those to hand all time, and then like my little tub of precious pictures, I also have a Polly Pocket of precious backgrounds as well, so like that. I mean, that's beautiful. And oh, I kept this picture because that really looks like my mum, and like she does backpacking and walking, well, used to, but that really could be my mum. And then yeah, so like this is a nice background as well if I can get hold of it. So yeah, so just pretty precious backgrounds there. So that's two wallets of those. And then lastly, while I'm dragging out all these pictures from the magazines, you have to cut out the decent recipes. So I have popped a few recipes in a Polly Pocket here that I will try, because it seems a waste to throw them out if you might be able to do them. So I think that's it, apart from to show you one last lot of magazines. Now this is, my son has on subscription from my mother-in-law all the National Geographic Kids and the weekly news. So, under the table, I have a lot of them. That's Loki's football boots, if you're wondering what the bag is next to it. So yes, they will be harvested at one point, but at the moment they are just sat under the desk. Alright, if you've liked this, please like, and please feel free to comment and ask questions, and subscribe, and everybody have a super duper day. Bye!